Hey, what's happening? Happy New Year, everybody. This episode of Let There Be Talk is brought to you by my fantastic sponsor, Earthquaker Devices. EarthquakerDevices.com. Check them out. If you play guitar, bass, keyboards, any kind of instrument, and you want to plug it into some kind of badass foot pedal, hit them up. Earthquaker Devices, yeah! Maybe you need a delay, some reverb, boost, preamp, fuzz, overdrive, modulation, octave, whatever. They got them all. Check it out, man. They're going to be at the NAMM show this year. I'll be there at their booth interviewing all kinds of people. Stop by if you're at the NAMM show. Or if you just live anywhere around the world, email them and say, hey, I heard about this on Let There Be Talk. I want to get a good deal on a stomp box, a foot pedal, a rock and roll machine. They'll hook you up. Earthquaker Devices, hand-built out in Akron, Ohio, land of Devo. That is where Devo's from. Let me just give you a quick couple funny names. These guys name their pedals the funniest shit. Disaster Transport, Dispatch Master, Ghost Echo, what's this one? Afterneath. I don't know. Anyway, check them out. Earthquaker Devices. All right, here we are. Happy New Year, everybody. It is 2016, and once again, I did not learn Spanish or quit candy. So, try it again, right? Just every year, gonna quit candy and learn Spanish. Those are my only two things I want to do. And boom, didn't do either of them. Fuck it. Who cares? People put so much weight into starting over, new things. Last year was great. I loved it. Fuck yeah, I got ran over on my motorcycle, but who cares? Great year. Did over 448 shows last year. I didn't end with 500. I usually get into the 500s, but didn't make it this time. 448, which is fucking insane anyway. That's why I'm tired all the time. Why am I tired? Oh, because I did 448 shows this last year. I hope everybody's doing good. We lost Lemmy. We lost fucking Lemmy last week. Such a bummer, man. Such a bummer. But if you are in the LA area, or even if you're not, and you want to come celebrate Lemmy, on the 9th of January at the Rainbow Bar and Grill, 2 p.m., the celebration of Lemmy. It's going to be incredible. I'll be there. What a huge loss, but we got his music and we got his spirit, and the guy was a pure fucking outlaw. 70 years he lived. You know? If I knew I could live that long and party, I probably would have kept partying. Somebody said, oh, you get to live to be 70 and you can keep partying. But that probably wouldn't be the case. Lemmy was a straight up just iron machine. The guy walked, talked, and breathed rock and roll. And he will be definitely missed. But play his music daily and you'll have him in your soul right there. Lemmy, we miss you, buddy. Rest in peace, Lemmy. Great guest today. Speaking of rock and roll and metal, we've got a survivor on today. Chuck Billy, lead singer of Testament, a friend of mine for almost 30 years. Unbelievable. Somebody sent a photo to me a couple days ago. A friend of mine, Julie, sent a photo of Chuck Billy and I in like 1988. And I just stared at the photo. It was just at the Omni. We're in the downstairs bar. We're drinking Budweisers, having the time of our fucking life. I stared at that photo for hours and realized I never say those were the good days because 2 days ago I had a fucking incredible day. But I do love to look at photos from the past. They make me laugh and they make me feel good. And think about just when you had no cares in the world except just playing rock and roll. Didn't care where you woke up. Didn't care what you were doing. Didn't need money in your pocket. All you needed was your bandmates and a rehearsal studio, and you plug in and just rock and then go play a gig. Chuck Billy was one of the first people when I was playing music that gave me kind of a break. He loved our demo tape. He had us open for Testament when they were just absolutely exploding. A sold-out Omni show. He wore one of our band shirts, which was very high profile, which helped us. And he became an incredible friend over the last 25 years. I love this guy. We almost lost him to cancer. He tells a story on this episode. And so that's why he's a survivor in more ways than one. He survived cancer, but he also survived all the different music genres and styles and trends and all that shit, and just hammered through playing metal for all these years, 28 years or so. I mean, that is fucking awesome. Start a band with your buddies when you're like, 20. And here you are, 50, he's like 50, 53, he says. And he's going out on tour with Slayer next month. Winner. Fucking winner. Put all the chips in, laid the cards down, and he won. Love it. Before I get to the episode real quick, just a couple reminders. First of all, I want to thank everybody who listened to this show last year. You are all unbelievable, and the show in December had the most downloads ever. I love all your emails, deandelray@yahoo.com. Keep them coming. And you guys are this thing's taken off, man. It feels fucking great. If you want to donate to the podcast, hit patreon.com/DeanDelRay. Every little nickel helps the show. Costs money to do it. If not, all good. Just sit back and listen. Let's see. Got a new shirt coming out that is up on Instagram right now. If you want to pre-order, DeanDelRay@yahoo.com. Pre-order a shirt. Don't sleep. Every time I finish the shirts, people are like, how do I order one? It's like, dude, I've been doing a pre-order for 6 weeks. So get on it. Looking forward to 2016. My 7th year of doing stand-up comedy. Some upcoming shows. January 15th, I'll be in Ventura, California. The 16th, West Side Comedy Theater, one of my favorite places. Let's see. Also, the 30th, I'll be at Nerd Melt doing the Setlist show, one of my favorite shows. And then 19 and 20 of February, I'll be in Columbus and Pittsburgh. And more details coming up on that soon. All right, I'm going to get into it here. Thank you so much, everybody. Keep the candles lit. Let's check out some Chuck Billy. All right, here we are, another episode of Let There Be Talk. Fantastic guest today. Old friend of mine, Chuck Billy. How are you?
We're not that old, are we?
No, we're not that old. But we
Good old friend, Jim. Yeah.
But we've known each other so long that it seems like an old friend, right?
Yeah, of course. Oh, we're old friends for sure.
Like
we go way back, man.
Yeah, how did we meet? I don't really remember. I just remember you heard my band Ghost Town's cassette. Yeah. You liked it, and you had us open for Testament at the Omni.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like we were a rock band, kind of like a GNR style, right. And we were opening in front of this like complete thrash crowd, which was
killed it though. It was fun. Crowd still.
It was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
It was awesome, man.
And it was just like because back then there was such. It was like fuck posers and all that stuff, but the guys in the bands like Metallica and you guys and. Everybody would go see everybody.
Yeah, well, that's what the scene. I mean, back then we had so many clubs all over Broadway. I mean,
Yeah.
you catch an early show and catch a late show down the street or across the street, rocking Broadway or
Mabue.
or So that was the beauty of that, and everybody seemed to like follow each other and support each other, and
It was a
such
family.
a great scene, man. When coming up in that,
It really was, right?
yeah. Yeah,
For a
but we didn't
long-
know we didn't know, what we're part of at really, what was going on there.
Yeah, that is true because
And-
it's so funny. Like you're watching, like say Exodus or let's say Metallica or a Faith No More or Testament or anybody. You're not at any point going like, pretty soon we're going to be the biggest bands in the world. It was just what we did on every day.
Well, the unique thing about the Bay Area is all those great bands like Forbiddens and Violence, and everybody had this thrash style, but none of us were the same. We all had our own identity.
It's incredible. I was thinking that as I drove over to your place today. I was like, to me, it really breaks down to, they did the Big Four tour, but to me, I always think of it as Testament, Exodus, Anthrax, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer. That's what it is to me.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
really, those were the bands that were really, really in the mix. And underneath, you had a Violence, you had Law's Rocket, you had all that stuff. The Forbiddens, and all that. Exactly. But I'm saying, to me, that was really the core of the entire sound. And why I thought about that was every one of them was different.
Yeah, everybody was different. That was great, and it's great to see now the bands that are still playing, the Death Angels and Exodus.
Oh yeah, Death Angel too. Yeah,
it's great.
It's incredible. Now, I don't really know you until you get into Testament. But what were you doing? But where'd you grow up? You're American Indian.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Dublin. Suburbia out in the middle of nowhere. So for us, the Bay Area, Berkeley, and Keystone, Berkeley, and the Stone were like, wow, we're going out, like going to the city.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the weird thing is when we got there, all of me and my friends always seemed, we're all over 6 foot. We're like, man, we seem so big here with all these people.
Yeah.
We're like these monsters.
Yeah, like you guys are just suburb, big giant kids.
dudes out of the suburbs.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And I was like, okay.
And what were you doing out there? Were you into like music early on?
Well, that's what it was, to experience the music, to go to those clubs. That's what we heard about, back then, the Y&Ts early back then, and going to shows we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
But that's where we had to go because I grew up in suburbia. So we had to, that was the city, San Francisco or Berkeley, to go see a show.
And you went to high school
in Dublin,
right?
Up through about my senior year. I got thrown out of Dublin High and finished my senior year at a continuation.
Stoner school. Stoner school.
Yeah, went back to
Yeah.
But that was cool. But that changed my destiny at that point in my life. Really, that chain of events, because I was pursuing being an athlete, playing sports and all that, and
right.
But I wanted to play music too, because I was picking up a guitar, around that time. And at that point, when I had to go to a continuation, at that point is when I knew, okay, now I'm going to focus on being a musician. And that was what I did, play guitar.
Right.
At the
played guitar.
I played guitar, from like 7th grade. So I was like, I wanted to be Michael Schenker.
Oh.
He was my hero. And I was like, that's who I want to be, Michael Schenker.
Oh, man. Were you into Schenker Group or was it UFO?
UFO.
Right.
But still Schenker Group as well.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's what really got me into that, and that's what I wanted to do. Vocals were not even in the picture coming up in music in the Bay for me.
Wow. Yeah.
So.
Now, do you remember some of the shows you saw at the Stone? Like who were like, because when I was going early on, it was Roadrunner, Head On, Le Mans. Those were the earlier bands before everybody. And they were really had a fucking big scene in the early 80s. Y&T also. And what else was in there? Maybe some Gamma. some 415.
415.
No heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Bay, that was the weird thing in the Bay because for me, I thought late 70s, early 80s was really punk rock in the Bay. Remember?
Right.
It was like all these. That was a scene. Kind of moved.
Dead Kennedys.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, it's kind of almost like a glam scene, I guess, trying to be more like L.A.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
And then when that thrash scene came in, it seemed to kind of really push a lot of people, I think, towards L.A.
Yep.
Where the scene was more popular down here.
Right.
So
right.
They kind of just assumed the identity of this metal thing after that.
Right. So do you remember, like early on, like as the thrash rumblings? Because to me, it kind of felt like, all of a sudden overnight shit was happening. Like, oh, you got to see this band Exodus. And I went and saw them and I was like, oh man, those guys are scary. It was like radical. And then Metallica, and all of a sudden, Violence and Laws Rocket and Ruthie's in, and all of a sudden everything just happened. It seemed like overnight.
Yeah, well, it started with, Megaforce and Johnny Z and Metallica, and it just kind of, from that movement right then, it just made a statement. It just blew up, All these other bands started coming out of nowhere, and I think at that point, major labels are like going, picking up a lot of these newer, younger bands, Testament.
Yeah.
They're the first record on Atlantic, for 10 years.
So how do you become a singer? Like how does this happen now? So you're out, you want to play guitar, you want to be in a band. Were you in a band as a guitar player?
No, I just played on my own, studied Michael Schenker.
You had a guitar?
Licks. Oh, yeah.
What kind did you have?
A Flying V.
You had a Flying V?
And Gibson Les Paul.
Wow.
And I just carried that sucker around everywhere,
Were you any good?
I could play rhythm really good. My lead sucked.
Yeah.
So that was like, that's kind of when it turned. I was like, okay, my next step for guitar playing sucks. So, it's a crazy thing was my brother had a band,
Yep.
And I'd go watch them, and they'd be like, yeah, cool, this is what band's like, And the next thing he threw me the lyrics, because they all shared vocals, all the guys in the band.
Yeah, like Kiss style or Eagles.
Exactly. So they said, you sing one day, and I did. And they said, okay, you're the new singer. And I'm like, all right. Cool. And so at that point, I just really said, okay. I said, okay, I'm not going to be a guitar player. I want to be a singer now then.
That's exactly how it happened for me.
Yeah.
Every band needed a singer. No one needed guitar players. Every corner had 90 of them.
Yeah.
But no one wanted to sing because it's so rough, right? At the beginning, you're up there. You're like, you don't sound like your idols. And it's really scary, right?
I didn't know what I was doing. It just, you're singing, here's the lyrics. I just did what they were doing. And
Were you doing covers or originals?
Originals.
Wow.
And
what were they called?
Well, there's one like Devil in Disguise and Sid Vicious Lives and Corruption.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
And it was your brother's band.
Yeah.
Does he still play?
Yeah, he plays now. He's actually getting a degree in music and is going to be a teacher,
Wow.
But that was the first thing. Willie Lang, that was the first band. The beginning of Rampage was.
Oh, wow.
Willie Lang played bass in Laws Rocket after Diamond. He was in Diamond. Remember them? Well,
so what was your sound in this band? Because your sound is pretty unique in your band, Were you trying to sing like a singer?
I think. I didn't know. That's what it was. That's what was going on. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So right away I said, I think I'm going to go sign up for some college classes. And I took some guitar and vocal theory, vocal lessons. And I actually traveled to the city and started taking private lessons.
Oh, yeah.
So right away I just said, okay, I'm just going all in. And so I did the private lesson in school for about a year and a half.
Some guy or a girl?
Girl.
What was her name?
Kathy Ellis.
Right.
That was my first teacher. And then so I did as much as I could with her. And then after that, I started going to this lady, Judy Davis.
I know Judy Davis.
Yeah, so I went to
She's
Judy.
great. Famous.
Yeah.
Eric Martin's teacher.
Yeah, so I went to her and finished her course. And so after that, I'm ready to go. I'm going to audition for a band. I'm ready.
Yeah.
And at that point, that's when Zet left Legacy. They had Legacy going at the time.
Now, Zet leaves to go to Exodus, right?
Yep. And Zet grew up in the same grade and went to school with my younger brother, Andy, who was in the band Rampage. And
right.
Zet used to hang out with me at Rampage rehearsals and watch these guys.
Right.
So Zet goes, all right, so here, call Alex Skolnick and see if you can get an audition.
Yeah.
So really? Yeah. Okay. Give me the demo. Yeah.
Now in the band at the time, is it Greg, Louie, Alex, and Eric?
Yeah.
It's the core.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I get the demo, and there's 3 songs on it.
What are they? You remember?
Burnt Offerings, The Haunting, and what was the last song? Over the Wall.
Over the Wall.
Yeah. So
Over the Wall. Yeah.
So, I learned them, and I went down. And when I went down for the audition, of course, I'm 22, going on 23 at the time. And there, Alex is 15, just did his first demo.
He's 15?
Yeah, and all the guys couldn't even drink yet. They're all underage. So, here I come in.
Whoa, you're like the Bon Scott of the group.
Yeah, I already come in, case of beer, get them all drunk. And it was down at the rehearsal spot in Oakland there on
the spot?
18th. And all the rehearsal rooms are like, this big. You can barely fit anything in there. I remember my audition, I couldn't even sing in the room with them because there was no room in there. They had all their amps, and there was nothing, no one to put me.
Yeah.
So I just put the PA in there, and I stood out in the hall.
Is that right?
Yeah, just sang from the hallway.
Did you have to bring your own PA?
Yeah, I brought my own PA.
What?
They didn't have one, so I had to bring my own PA.
You bring your own. I had my own PA too. Remember that back then? You would have to buy a PA.
Oh, yeah.
I had this big acoustic mixing board and these 2 big fucking speakers.
I just put them in the room,
Yeah.
faced them that way.
Yeah.
And kind of said, okay, and left. And then a couple of days later, they just said, okay, you're in. And,
Really?
And that was it. And then when Zet left, they already actually had a record deal with Megaforce. Johnny and Maria already had a deal on the table, and Zet was walking away to join Exodus.
Wow.
So at that point, that's when Megaforce said, well, I don't know if the deal's not off the table. Send me a demo with the new singer.
Now, why would he leave? I never knew that they had a deal on the table.
Yeah.
Why would he leave a band with a fresh deal and a fresh identity to join a band who had such an iconic singer? Of course, it later turned out to be good. They did Toxic Waltz, and it got huge. But that's to me, I would be like, these are my bros, and this is our sound, and we could be our own thing.
Yeah, well, I guess it's.
He just thought it was
I guess
bigger?
it's destiny.
Yeah.
I mean, that was Zet's, and this is mine. I mean,
Yep.
if that fortunate for me, we're bros and friends, and still are today. Zet's even a songwriter still with Testament.
Yeah. You manage them, right?
Exodus, yeah, our breaking bands was
We'll get into that in a minute, but so they say that we don't know if the deal's still on the table because you got a new singer.
Yeah. So at that point, they said, okay, you got to go do the demo. So I go.
Where'd
in
you
there.
guys do the demo?
It was right on College Avenue, right, a couple doors down from Elliot Kahn's law office. He was the attorney at the band at the time.
Yeah.
And so it was this guy's basement,
Yeah.
And so I went
Just
down,
metal.
Yeah, 12 track back then or something.
Yep.
Went in there and did my same 3 songs. Did my thing on him, sent it to him. He's like, all right, we got a deal.
Really?
Yeah. And I kind of just it was that easy. Yeah, it was kind of like,
Oh, man.
Yeah, from guitar, wanted to be, now you're a singer, and got my first band, and I've still been in the same band.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah. It's,
Now you get the record deal, and you guys are huge fans of SOD, right?
right.
As Stormtroopers of Death record.
And for me as a guitar player, those guitars were just speaking to me like,
couldn't
and I was
believe
like,
it.
whoa, how, ouch. It was like, I want that sound.
When that record dropped, it was so insane, right? Because here's this just little funky, fun side project, and it just completely took over every party we were at. I want some milk. My coffee went cold.
Yeah, just the lyrics alone, you were just
Yeah.
like, it was so fun back then.
Yeah.
And it was so heavy.
Yeah, and everybody would quote it, speak English or die.
Yeah.
You'd be like, holy shit,
Yeah.
that thing took over. It was a monster.
Yeah.
So you guys hear that and you go, we want that guy to do our record.
Yeah. And also, John working with Johnny Z, of course, he's like, he knew Valix, and that was his recommendation as well. So like, yeah, we're going. And here we are, never left California, young kids. The guys still aren't old enough to drink.
Alex, what is he, 15?
16, I think, at that time. Yeah.
Wow.
So we fly to Ithaca, New York.
Yeah, Ithaca.
And it's cold. It's in the mountains, and we got to rent a car, and we're driving ourselves in the snow for the first time. And I'm buying underage band members booze, and we're having a good old time doing the first album, man.
Now, when you do that record, how long does it take it to do it?
We were there 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
Yeah, and and that and we look back now and just the way we recorded that record and techniques, it was like, man, it was insane. The
prehistoric style.
Yeah, prehistoric. Just the way it went down. It was like, man, you think back now, if you only knew what you knew now that then,
Yeah. Now, were you guys living at the studio too?
No, we had a hotel like right not far, about a mile away.
And would you work every day?
We worked every day, and it's a college town, so there was a lot of mischief to get into.
Yeah.
All hours of the night there.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We had fun recording, but we had a good time just like partying as a band, and that's when we really like got tight with each other and got tight.
Yeah, because you're a new guy,
Yeah.
and you're starting to get to know each other, right? What, like,
Yeah,
Alex,
but not knowing how to record a record or what it's all about. You hear your favorite records and like, yeah, it's killer. I want that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. But then you get there and you don't.
Yeah.
You have no control. You don't know what the hell's going on, and you don't.
Before you do the record and you join the band, do you guys go out and do gigs first before, or do you do the record in a couple weeks later?
No, we did a few gigs.
Where'd you do them at? Like Stone,
Ruthie's, but then
Yep.
the only place then for us,
And did people accept you right away? Because Legacy was up and rolling.
right away, because when those guys did the Legacy demo,
Right.
that demo got big props in Europe. That was like one of the big. That's been the tape trading was going on, and that tape was one of the big demos that was like something's going on with these guys.
Right.
So that was like there was a buzz started already just because of that. So then when I came out and did it, then the band was called Testament, not Legacy anymore.
Yeah. Now Billy Milano, he names the band, right?
Yeah.
So they're called the Legacy, and there's a band called the Legacy.
Yeah, there's a band called Jazz Band. I don't think they're still playing, but they still had the rights to the name. So we actually went to record the record as Legacy. Like, well, what do we? We still didn't have our identity. That's how right up to doing the record. And Billy said, Legacy. Well, how about Testament? It's kind of like the same kind of thing. Testament. And Eric right away, he's the artist, and he just whipped up that logo like that. He put the T's and the A, and we're like, holy smokes.
Wow,
it's real symmetrical looking. Wow, that kind of looks good,
Yeah. And Eric drew the logo, huh?
Yeah, he sketched out the T's and the A's, and then that was the frame of it,
Wow.
And then from that point, we're like, wow, that's it. We knew right then when we seen how the logo
It's all about a logo back then. Like Metallica had those stretched down A's.
Well, that's what it was. We're like, right when he said it and right when he drew it, we're like, that's it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, so who would think that Billy Milano came up with that, but it was awesome, man. It fit us, and he knows because at that time I would go to Billy's pad when we go out to New York as well too.
Right. You're friends with him?
Yeah. When I first met him and went out there and met Maria for the first time, and Johnny flying out to Jersey, and that's when first thing Maria introduces. She takes us to Billy's place.
What was that? What's Billy's place like? To me, it just seems like he just lived wherever. In my mind, back when the record was out, I just thought he was like one of the guys from the young ones.
No, back then he was at his parents' place, but his parents had a really nice present. His parents,
they were rich.
Yeah, they had some money.
Wow.
So it was a nice place. So we hung out, but Billy he was always like really cool to us, but you could tell Billy was just, he's an animal.
Yeah. But where did Billy come from before that? Was he a punk rock singer or something? Because to me, all of a sudden this SOD thing comes out and it's like, this is incredible, man. I mean, it's a punch in the face.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's when I met him at that time with Maria, first.
Because he was like a New York legend,
Yeah, but Billy's personality, you'd if he comes in the room, he's in the room.
Oh, yeah? He's one of those guys?
Oh, yeah. You don't know Billy?
I don't know Billy.
Oh, man.
I can't believe I've never met Billy.
You got to talk to Billy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a character, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, SOD was so great, and then
Yeah, so we got there, and it turns out we didn't get the SOD tone, we wanted to. But
why was that? Was it a different engineer or something?
no, same engineer and everything. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were so. Well, again, I'll go back to I can't see them recording with the techniques he did our record with. I don't know. I wasn't there for the SOD recordings. But,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
historic, like you said, the way we got guitar tones, condenser mics and just clothes hangers and configurations like this,
Yeah.
And you think now, I was like, what were we doing? How are we ever going to get guitar tone like that?
Now, you guys do the record 8 weeks. Are you psyched on the record? Did you guys like the sound of it? Were you like, this is going to be the shit?
Yeah,
or we
were excited because, especially after just doing a demo, and that's all I knew was the demo. And the demo to me was like awesome, And and then you do a record, and then here in the final mixes, once they polish it up a little bit, you're just like, whoa. But back in the 80s, to that, that to me, that was the best thing in the world, the best tone in the world. It was the best.
Yeah.
First record. I don't care.
That's it.
It's it.
It's your fucking, nobody else got a first record. You know what I mean? That's what I always think. I don't have a first record. I mean, I do, but I'm saying not like back then.
But
the
fun thing back then was when we got the final pressing. When we got the final, wasn't
the Wax Master?
When we got the final, and I remember we'd go to Eric Peterson's dad's house because he had the killer stereo and the old phonograph, the big speakers and everything.
Like a Macintosh or something.
Yeah, the big dial and shit. So we're going there and listen to it, and I just remember like that was the day when we all sit down on the couch and put it on and and play it, and it sounded like it was amazing.
Yeah, Over the Wall is an incredible song.
Yeah,
I love that. Now, Over the Wall, you shoot at the Alcatraz, the video, right?
Yeah, that's the first video we did off of that record.
Now, you told me you guys went to Alcatraz and you shot at Gangster illegally,
Commando.
Which is fucking hilarious. Tell this story. It's great.
Yeah, well, we couldn't get permission to go, so...
Did you guys try it first? You called?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're like, no. So, okay, so we'll set plan B. We're going.
Yeah.
But we got to hide. But we had like spotters. People would walk up in front and walk up and back and let us know.
So you buy tickets to go the Alcatraz
Just go to
tour.
The tour. Yeah.
You float over on the boat with cameras and shit.
Yeah.
And you get off, and then what do you guys do? Just start walking around?
Yeah, and these are the old 8mm ones. So they're like, all little.
Oh yeah. I know those. Yeah.
So they're pretty small and inconspicuous.
Yeah.
So we'd find the cool spots. Oh, here's a tunnel. Let's go. And the guy would be running real low.
He starts filming it.
Yeah, and then no one's coast clear. Go.
Hilarious.
God, all right, we're done. Got that. He had it mapped out because he went out to the director and knew what he wanted to get.
Yeah.
He walked it already. So, but it was just so funny what we got, man.
And then you interweaved it with some live at the Mabuhay footage, right?
Yeah. Then we went filming at the Mabuhay Gardens.
Ness's place.
Crazy, first video, first time doing that. We just figured let's just do it live and we'll just get the pit going.
Yeah.
Let's do it
so
over the wall.
What do? You just tell friends we're shooting the video and it fills up.
Yeah, everybody be there. I think it was like 2:00 or something like they're filming at 3 or something.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of people showed up. And
just a fucking pit and mania,
but it was just our first time. You're lip syncing for the first time.
That's weird, right?
It's weird. You're just like, and back then, we're young, fucking, fuck this, fucking lip syncs, fucking bullshit.
This is poser.
Yeah, this is poser. What the fuck we doing? We're lip syncing.
Yeah,
this
right?
fucking sucks.
It does suck.
Sucks. But I guess this is how you do it.
Part of the biz.
Yeah. So, yeah.
At what point do you take the mic and pull the bottom part off and because I always call it the Chuck Billy, and you just kind of like Freddie Mercury.
Beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the beginning, the first time actually.
Was that like a Freddie Mercury thing, or you just...
I didn't think about it, what it was, but I because I was too tall to have a mic or with the round boom. For me, it just I don't know.
They never went up tall enough.
Yeah, because of course, when I was younger, I didn't stand still either.
Yeah.
I'd kind of bounce around and be all over, so
Yeah.
I couldn't have a stand, and I just didn't want to have a mic.
Yeah.
Because I love air guitaring, because I'm still a guitar player at heart. So
Yeah.
I had to,
Yeah.
have
You
the air guitar.
You had a piece to fucking jam with.
Yeah. So it's kind of like developed over the years to now. I got this custom chrome one that's got laser light in it and can change colors, and it's like a fucking lightsaber.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that is dope.
Is it here? No, it's in the garage.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So you guys dropped the record. What year was that?
1987.
87.
Or maybe we recorded it late 86, but came out 87.
And what's your first tour?
First tour was, I can't remember if it was America or Europe, but I remember it was in Europe with Anthrax.
Wow.
For the first time.
Among the Living, or what record?
Among the Living. But actually, before that even happened, we went to leave the country. First time we did the Dynamo.
What?
Yeah, the first time, and it was because the demo was just like raging in Holland.
Right.
Legacy was big, so they already had a buzz, and we knew Andre Verheusen over there, who ran the Dynamo Club.
Yeah.
And the festival, and he brought us over, and we played the club and played the parking lot in the back. It's like 12,000 people in the parking lot.
Really?
1987.
Holy shit.
And that's when we recorded the EP live in Eindhoven. And, again, we were over there just because of that buzz of that demo.
That's
and
incredible.
Did an EP off it. And that was our first experience out of the country. And we're in Europe, and those guys aren't all drinking, and they're enjoying it, because over there, you're all go up to the bar, you
16,
drink,
yeah.
whatever. So these guys are loving it. We love Europe, man. Everybody's hammered.
Yeah.
And we're having a good time. And, man, when I hear that record now, I just hear how much fun we had, and just blew our minds for the first time. People singing our songs, so for me, a European, they don't understand
The haunting.
English, but they're singing my lyrics down there, yelling over the wall, and
that's crazy.
Raging Waters and stuff like that.
Now, when you got the demo, Zetlef, did he already sing on the demo?
Yeah.
Did you rewrite lyrics?
No, I sang.
You just sang the demo, exactly. And then when you did the record, did they already have the record wrote?
They had the record done. The last song on it was "Do or Die," and that's when I participated.
Right. So you start writing on the second record.
Yeah, and that's when we all did.
Right. So you go out with Anthrax on what I consider their fucking best record ever, Among the Living, and they are absolutely fucking amazing. Are you guys watching them every night, learning stuff from them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're big fans, so we're just like, it's awesome. We learned everything. I mean, that's what the beauty. We got thrown in the fire like quick,
Yeah.
from nothing, record a record, bam, big tour right away. Here you go, let's go, and
Just out and fucking out with the Anthrax.
it was all the timing. That time was just the right time to come out with that era of music and
that sound. It
the
was
sound and the other big thing was a lot of people were on major labels. Man, those are big machines.
Yeah.
They know how to market and push material and get it in stores where they need to be, and plus a lot more record stores back then that pushing a lot more records.
At what point does Atlantic start coming around?
Well, after the Legacy, the next record,
Practice What You Preach?
No, the New Order.
Oh, the New Order. That's right.
We went and did straight on Atlantic Records, through Megaforce.
Right.
And then
it was
after
like
that,
a co-op.
Yeah, and then Practice. That's when it was full on Atlantic for the rest.
Yeah, because Practice is really, to me, where it seems like Testament's everywhere. Like the big machine kicks in, all of a sudden it's like,
Well, we weren't fucking around back then. We were knocking out records once a year.
Wow.
Because we did the first record, which those guys had worked on for years.
Yep.
And everybody knows coming up with the second one, but, that was like my first one.
Yeah.
Again, but we were thrown in the fire so much. I mean, we were on tour, and I remember going to Europe, and we wrote the New Order on the bus or in our
Really?
hotel room on acoustic guitar, and just had the vocals, and we had our notepads out and just wrote it.
Wow.
And then toured
Just
it,
working.
just working on acoustic. Didn't like play it on, and then we'd just do our thing a little bit on stage, but waited till we got home, started playing it, tightened it up, and we're ready to go and do another record.
Wow.
I mean, it was that we were moving them out like that. And
Who does the second record?
Alex Perry-Alice again.
Same guy?
Yeah. Yeah, but we came, let's see, where did we go on that? So we did the same place in Ithaca again.
Right.
Second record up there. And, different thing, different vibe. I think that record sounds better.
Yeah.
Different vibe. But as times are going, it's changing the sounds with everybody was at that time as well.
Yeah. It's interesting because today I was listening to the Formation of the Damnation record, and that's 2008, and that record sounds fucking smoking.
That's Andy Sneap, man.
I mean,
Andy.
compared to on the way here, I was listening to Souls of Black and Practice because I wanted to re-roll it because I used to listen to this record so fucking much, and there I am grabbing the volume and stuff and, tweaking and shit. And then the new one comes on. That one comes on. I go, holy shit.
Yeah. From the Formation. Yeah, that's Sneap, Andy Sneap, man.
Yeah.
And
who else did he do?
Well, he does a lot of people now. I mean, from, Demue to Exodus.
Right. But he's like a famous producer.
Yeah, and he also plays in a band, English band. God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Can't think of him right now.
Yeah.
Kill me, but yeah.
Now, let's say once you get Atlantic going and everything, and we're cruising around the city, this thrash scene explodes. Right, I mean, we got
the Bay Area. I mean, back then, the Bammies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we started getting metal in the Bammies.
Yeah, remember that? We had the metal category out of nowhere.
Yeah, out of nowhere, and so the Bay Area started had to be recognized that there's metal here.
Yep.
Big time.
Metallica,
Yeah.
Exodus. I mean, that shit is that to me. I always talk about it, but I think the day that really the changing of the guard happened was when Metallica played Day in the Green with the Scorpions. So it was
totally.
It was Yngwie, Metallica, some Victory. I got a picture here of the lineup, but it was that day where they were second or third on the bill, and. I think I got it right here.
Yeah, was it Ride the Lightning then, or was it Master?
Yeah, it was
Ride the Lightning.
It was Ride the Lightning.
Oh, killing it then too.
And I just remembered, I think I got it right here. It's crazy. Let's see here, because somebody had just sent me the poster because it's such an epic day to me. Here it is. So it's the first band was Victory, then it was Rising Force, Yngwie.
Yeah.
Then Metallica, Y&T, Rat, Scorpions. To me, that is the day that it changes in the Bay Area for good, because it was whoa, that's those guys, our friends from the Stone, and now they're here, and they're completely destroying the 60,000 seater. I mean, that was the day, right?
Crushing it.
Did you go to that gig?
Yeah, I was that gig, and I remember Cliff in his glory.
That was it. To Bell's Toll. It's on Clifton Mall. Everybody could see it on.
Awesome.
But that was the day. To me, it just seemed like, oh, this other stuff's over.
Well, yeah, it just is. Yeah, changing of the guards definitely in heavier music, aggressive music. For sure.
Exactly. And I mean, you were right in the middle of it, so it had to be holy shit, this is fucking starting to catch on.
Well, I seen it as we traveled the world, because everywhere we went, and journalists you talk to, and be like, "Oh, Bay Area metal scene, tell me, Stone." They do
the Stone.
They do all the spots, and be like, okay, they've already, it's already legend traveling around.
Yeah, I really feel like the Stone is just underrated, man. I've been talking about it over and over, and I'd love to have money to do a documentary on it because the shit that came out of there.
Yeah, but just that location was just on Broadway. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And it was just perfect. Get a tattoo next door.
I got tattooed next door.
Did you?
Goldfield. He was one of the best tattooers going, man. That's what was amazing. He was incredible. You had the Rock Store where you could pick up a bullet belt and a fucking Iron Maiden wristband, like a fucking studded wristband.
Yep.
Then you go next door, you could get a tattoo. And then right next door was a shitty little deli where they would just sell you beer. They never ID anyone. So you just drink beer in there and then right into the Stone. And then a block up
Or
is
just
all
stand out front and just drink or smoke or stand around the corner of the alley or whatever. It was so great, man.
It was incredible. And then cross street, Mabue, full punk rock, above Rock on Broadway, and then all those shitty strip joints.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean,
man, that was the best, man. It was the best setup, especially for this scene to come here. It comes in, and then next Stone Rock Band. That was like all of a sudden that took over the scene, and then over to Berkeley.
Yep.
Ruthie's, and then
the
Omni, and Keystone Berkeley.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy.
Scottish Rite Temple in like Oakland or something, playing these weird places, or
Nile
Day in the
Station.
Dirt.
Day in the Dirt. Day in the Dirt. I forgot. And the farm. Remember the farm?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so crazy to think at that time there'd be about 20 clubs, you can count the I-Beam and all that shit. And they were all full every night. Every night.
Every night.
Like people went out and saw live music.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, that's that coming up as a kid, through that. If you think back, it's pretty awesome.
It's unbelievable.
But
you went and saw me do comedy last night. We were next door to one of the most iconic clubs of all time, Old Waldorf.
Yeah.
I mean, AC/DC played in there in 1977. Motley Crue.
I got thrown out at Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Broke in the back doors. Underage. Got busted drinking. Thrown out. Broke back in again. Thrown out. Oh, yeah.
Awesome, right?
Good memories there.
Yeah. And just metal.
Dave Metachetti walking on the tables in the front. Just
full
shredding
solos.
it.
Yeah.
Man, it's like.
And Metal Mondays. Vicious
man.
Rumors.
Yeah. It was awesome. Like when I went to the show, that I was like, I was telling my father, this is it. This is the whole Waldorf, man. It is. It is.
It's crazy how, there you are, 444 Battery, and you're above the street, and there was just some of the biggest bands of all time played in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild, man.
Yeah, before we went in, we're like, get there, and like, oh, we're not open yet. I was like, all right, let's go over here and smoke a joint for good old time's sake.
Yeah.
I went off in the corner, like, fired one up. Fuck. Yeah, this is like old times right now.
That's it, man. That is it. I mean, some of that scene was epic, right?
Yeah. Well, we survived it, right? I mean,
did.
If you think about it, man, that was a lot of insane,
a lot of people went down.
A lot of insane partying.
Yeah, a lot of insane partying, man. A lot of powder going on back then.
A lot of everything. Yeah.
It's crazy to think, right?
Yeah.
How much, to me, it was just heavy metal and drugs. That's all that mattered.
Yeah.
And, that party after the gigs.
It was so great because back in the early days, we didn't have a care in the world because most of us then were living at mom and dad's. And
yep.
Not much bills, paying no bills.
No bills.
We're going to gigs, having the time of our life, man.
It's crazy. And I remember my mom would be like, "You find a job today?" I was like that guy in the cartoon. Remember, "Oh, he said he's calling me tomorrow."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fucking so insane. It's crazy to think. Testament, 28 years?
Yeah, 28 years since I've been in the band, yeah. Since I've been in the band, it's coming up 30 years.
30 years. Yeah. We're at your house right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you think about, there's probably only, what are we talking about? Maybe 5 bands still playing from that era? 10 bands? What do we got? We got Metallica, Exodus is out there.
Death Angel.
Machine Head, Testament, Anthrax.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the odds? 28, 30 years ago, you stepped in there and you're playing a music. I always described it to people. When this music was happening, I remember seeing Metallica and going wow, this is crazy. Not really thinking this will never be on the radio. You know what I mean? Because it was the anti. Because all the other bands wanted to be on the radio. And here it is 30 years later. Metallica had 32, 33, and all over the radio.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I seen James last summer. We did a couple of festivals with him. And Exodus was on the bill. Faith No More was on the bill. We were on the bill. And Metallica was on the bill. And we all, ran into James and them. And he actually had a photo. He's like, dude, it's funny. I got this cover of Rip Magazine. And it has the Bay Area thing. It has Metallica, Exodus, Testament, Faith No More. He goes,
yeah.
Who would ever think, here we are this many years later, and look at us,
It's fucking
we're playing here together. He goes, I guess they knew. They knew.
Which they were right.
They were right.
Wow, man. That is fucking
crazy.
Crazy. Right? It really is crazy, man.
And then he had the photo of it. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. I love that. You know what I love about it too is there's definitely had to be some really dark times for Testament. Let's say like 10 years ago or something, right? Like where was it? Of course, you're going along. You do the records. You got Practice, Souls of Black, and everything's going good. You're on Atlantic, and then what? Do you get dropped?
Well, Low. No, we finished our contract.
Oh no shit!
They didn't drop us. We had finished the final record, but it was after like the Ritual record,
right?
Where Alex was decided that he was going to leave the band.
Yeah, okay.
The final tour was the Sabbath tour.
Sabbath tour.
Yeah, he was like, after the Sabbath tour, I'm done. And I'm like, okay, sucks.
How does he drop that on you?
Oh, he just did. He's just, he's like, I just wanted to experiment other things. I got other interests, want to do some other things.
Yeah.
Cool. No big
I get
deal.
it.
We were, yeah. He was young.
I mean,
he was 15 when he did this, and this is all he knew was touring heavy metal. And
it's like his first girlfriend.
Yeah, but he was young, and we were older, and, drinking, drugs, girls, the whole thing. You know?
And he was always clean the whole time, right?
Yeah, clean, sober, and just, just young, and he just wanted to do something else, So I respect him for that, and then Louis followed after.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of where it went. And then me and Eric and Greg did the final record, Low, for Atlantic Records. And that's when we said, okay, we're going to do something a little harder and heavy. We're all pissed off. And, we seen what was going on. People are getting dropped here and there. And we knew this was our final record. We're probably not going to get re-signed with them.
Yeah.
And so that's actually when I started I did Dogface Gods on the record, which was kind of the first song. I did like full death metal vocals through the whole song.
Right.
And a lot of fans heard that for the first time, and I got a mixed response because the old fans were like, "What the fuck you doing?" No.
Did they think you were jumping on a train?
Yeah, no Cookie Monster. No.
Yeah. Because there was a time where like even Machine Head, all of a sudden they had Ross Robinson do their record. They're trying to be Korn, or I'm not going to say they're trying to be Korn, but they wanted to modernize their sound. Yeah, and and either you go the Ramones AC/DC route and you stick to your thing, or you try other things. And I could see that, the Cookie Monster vocal was huge.
Yeah, but I did it different because I did it, I think, with almost Mike's melody or something. I did it my own way. But then also the Death fans were going, dude, do some more of that.
Yeah.
So that's when, we kind of started like trying more stuff. And then the next record, Demonic.
Yeah.
And that's when I did full on record was Death vocals.
Wow. And now what label was that on?
We did that. That's when me and Eric, Demonic record came out on, I can't remember if it was Spitfire. It was a record that they weren't around long. And that was the thing.
Spitfire?
I think it was Spitfire.
I remember that label.
And that they didn't last very long and we're gone. And then
so you do a whole record, Cookie.
But after that, I forgot about Live at the Fillmore. We did before that record, and Johnny Z was back, and we were talking to them, and we actually got me and Eric to start our own record label, Burn Offerings.
Right.
So we did, and at that point, we started licensing all the Testament music from that point
Did
on.
you own the masters after?
Yeah,
So at
everything
the end-
after from Live at the Fillmore on, we own the masters. For everything.
What about when your Atlantic deal ended? The masters didn't come back to you like Metallica got theirs.
We got
back.
the masters, and I got everything except for the legacy and the New Order are gone, missing. I can't find the reels to.
Shit! The first two are gone.
Yeah, so there's half-inch masters done, but I can't remix it or put it down on Pro Tools or anything.
So you own all that, and you can put them out as your own, sell them as your own records now.
Yeah, and
So-
we're actually in the works of like re-releasing a lot of our back catalog through Japanese label. First, get it out there,
Oh, dope!
and then try to get it back over to Nuclear Blast
Some vinyl releases too.
vinyl. Yeah, the whole deal. When Nuclear Blast does something, they do some really cool stuff.
And then remixes or what? Do you think you'd remix those records?
I would love to.
Right.
I would love to.
It seems like they need them.
Yeah, I mean, with technology, you
Just
could
volume
beef up
and-
a lot of everything.
Get some good separation, tone,
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
And that's the thing. And I have the other masters from Practice, Souls of Black, all that stuff on.
Yeah.
Thank God. But I haven't put it down anywhere. It's just I try to find time. I guess if I give it to someone and say, here, go take care of that.
Yeah. It's turned into a touring world now, right? Mm-hmm. It's insane to think how great. I mean, you got to be happy that you could go out and tour, because if you couldn't, you would be done. There's no more money or anything. You'd have to get a job, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've been fortunate enough to where our sales have kind of held up enough right at that point to where we can make a living,
Oh wow, that's great. So on royalties.
Yeah. I mean, I was one that had a job for like 17 years at the trucking company, but nobody else, Eric's hasn't worked.
You were working the whole time you were in Testament?
For 17 years.
Really?
Yeah, I was working for Willie Lang at his trucking company, the U.S. Post Office.
Wow. So like you would go on tour and then come back and go to work?
Yeah, I was a safety director.
Wow.
Yeah, for a trucking company. I'd travel to like 11 states and do safety lectures to all the truck drivers.
Even when you were on Atlantic?
No, this is after.
After Atlantic.
So this was 97 or something like that.
So
I haven't been there, I don't know, 5 years maybe or something.
So you worked a full-time job, and then you would kind of tour like
that was the beauty, because Willie's like, you come home. I didn't like sitting around after I got home. I was like, I'd lose my mind. I got to do something. So when he offered the job, I'm like, yeah, and what do I do? It's like, you learn to be a safety guy. Here's what you do. You're going to talk to all my drivers and fly you around. And it was cool. I got dressed nice and travel. And,
wow.
And
Chuck Billy, man.
Get up there and just lecture these guys for an hour.
Yeah.
Just like doing my bit,
Yeah. You ever get a driver go, hey, aren't you Chuck Billy?
I had all of these drivers, my drivers, to be like, yeah, dude, I'll call up. You're on the radio right now. He's talking about you, man.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Chuck Billy,
I'm serious.
safety.
I'm serious. I went on the Trucker channel. I was on there, talking, all these guys on this channel, man.
Wow, man, that's incredible.
Yeah, so it was great, and then they ended up selling the company.
Yeah.
And at that point, the new owner says, you got to pick. You can't do both. And I'm like, of course, I'm going to do the band.
Yeah.
We after the reunion in 2005, where everybody was kind of like, we're full steam ahead. Let's tour. Because before that, we were kind of cowboy weekend warriors, doing shows here and there.
At what point do you realize, all of a sudden there's business again?
Well,
you start getting a lot of offers?
Well, it's kind of it's everything built up and came to a point to where when I got sick, about 2001.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
We were on the Gathering record, we were getting all that, and we were touring about to do that, and I think that record was Testament's turnaround record. We really started experimenting with blast beats, and Eric was really into his black metal and doing a lot. So that record, and with Andy Sneap on it, it was just a turnaround record for us at that point. And that's when I think we really found our identity from all the early records, and it's aggressive, melodic. We it was killer. You
Yeah.
know? It was a turnaround for us.
Yeah, because early Testament is really it's really like that classic metal where there's songwriting, you know?
The guitar melody, licks, the vocals, the hooks.
Right, exactly.
So, but we got that with a new element of, blast beats and stuff like that. And that's actually the record Dave Lombardo played on drums on with
Wow,
us.
man.
Dave was out of Slayer at that time. And
Yeah.
he came and did the record and did the tour with us.
Just Dave Lombardo. Now, what is that like? Because Dave's one of my favorite people on the planet. Had him
Dave's
on the show
awesome,
twice.
Beautiful person. He actually made that record because I think Eric, when he writes songs, he's got a grip on the drums of what's going down ahead of time.
Yeah.
And with Lombardo, he didn't have to. Dave was just like, just play, and Dave would just be Lombardo.
Yeah.
And he really pushed Eric and really said, "Oh, all right, let's go." You know? And I think he really focused on the guitars and all that instead of having to think about the drums. And that record was really a turn for us, I think. And that's really kind of made a statement like, oh, Testament's back,
Right.
This record,
And maybe new
check this
people that
record
never
out.
heard of you, right?
Yeah, the new younger fans, but
Right.
even the older fans like, oh, check the New Testament. Holy man, this is ripping. And the production was killer.
Wow.
And so at that point, that record actually got a lot of recognition, and Andy Sneap, people were using that record for reference just, at that era and that time.
Right.
To get that fat Orm sound. And, that was a change. And then we went on tour, and we were going through different drummers as Dave left, and then guitar players, and then bass players, and then it was kind of becoming
like a junkyard, just a revolving
just
door.
trying to keep on the road. Me and Eric said, we can't do this. We need to let's pull back a little bit, and let's just try to do spot gigs, good gigs, ones that pay good, and then we'll just go in and play and do what we can do. But it's too much. We don't have a solid lineup.
Yeah.
We just can't go. We're going to go on tour for a year and make promises that we can't hold up without a band. So at that point, we're kind of laid back, and that's when I found out I was ill.
Yeah, let's talk about that now. You told me the story last night. It's fucking mind-boggling. You're living in one house, and you decide to move, and you move to another city in the Bay Area, and so you go, oh, we need to get a new...
Well, the what happened is I just get a knock on the door.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and the lady answered the door, and I'm like, yeah. And she's like, hello, from so-and-so real estate. If you ever considered selling your house, I have a client that wants to buy your house. And I'm like, my house is not for sale.
Yeah.
And I said, by the way, how much you talking? And she threw a number at me. And and it's, I've never sold a house, and threw a number. And I said, well, if you could sell it for that, I'll sell it.
Yeah.
Like, really? Okay. And ball was rolling. And so at that time, I was jamming with the guys in Sadis, Steve DiGiorgio and John Allen. And they lived out in Antioch, in the middle of nowhere, Delta, way out, nothing going on, 2-lane highway.
Yeah.
And so we move out there, and our son Dakota was probably 14 around that time, something like that. And so we said, okay, we got to go meet new dentist, new doctor. Let's all go get physicals. The hospital's right down the street.
Right.
And
it's so funny that you do this, because I move all over and I don't even think about any of that until I'm like sick, and then I go, where do I go? That's like a smart thing you do. I'm just dumb.
Well, I didn't go to the doctor. I didn't go get physicals or do any of that kind of stuff.
But you had a kid, so.
Yeah, and he's going to doctor. So at this time, Tip's like, let's just all go meet the doctor, blah, blah, blah. And so we go, and of course, my wife, we're filling out the paperwork, and she writes down the questionnaire. Yeah, parents' history. Both my parents had tuberculosis.
Right.
That's actually where they met. In the hospital, and father.
That's where your parents met?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So the doctor's
picking up
like,
on chicks at the hospital.
Yeah.
I love you, Dad. hey, sick girl over here. I'm sick too. Let's make out.
Don't make me laugh.
Yeah. Oh my God. Hilarious.
Yeah.
That is an incredible story.
Yeah. So, and for them to have 5 children after both of them going through what they went through back then,
Yeah.
just crazy.
So she fills out the paperwork.
And so she writes that down. So of course the doctor's going to go, well, let's take a look. I mean, look your history. Let's do it. You ever had a chest X-ray? I don't know. Just, what's my record say?
Yeah.
I don't know. When's the last time I got one? But so he says, all right, let's do an X-ray. And that night he calls us and says, hey, we want you to come in. We see like a mass in your chest with dark mass, and we want to get another picture. Can you do another X-ray tomorrow? Come on.
That night.
And I was like, it was kind of weird, you know. And so,
because you feel fine, right?
I feel fine. It's funny because about 30 days before that, I just started like smoking cigarettes, down the truck yard. Everybody smoke. Let me try this, So,
oh, you never smoked up until then?
No, so cigarettes. So I started smoking cigarettes.
Oh,
30 days. And next thing you know, about that time when I did all this happen, I was walking up and down the stairs at the house, going, oh, "Man, these cigarettes, man, killing me.
Yeah,
man, breathe, man, it's like, man." And like I had to stop. So I thought it was the cigarettes. And then when they did the CAT scan, he called me back and needed to come in and said, "Oh, show me." And I had like a mass tumor the size of a squash, like that, right in my chest cavity.
Unbelievable.
Up against like my heart in here.
Unbelievable. And you never felt it.
No, I just was out of breath, and apparently my body built a thick old wall around it and was fighting it,
Wow.
And they did a biopsy that following week, went in and couldn't tell what it was because they didn't go in deep enough. So they did another one, went to the side, and that's when they pierced it and started coming out oozing. And that's when like, oh, you need to go into chemo starting Monday.
Whoa.
So I went to 12 weeks of chemo, like 5 days a week. I was in there probably like 4 or 5 hours. I'd do like 3.
Were you scared?
The first day, well, when the doctor told me, when he called me and told me I had cancer.
Yeah.
Well, because Tiffany, she goes to all my appointments, whatever I do, she's always around. She didn't go to that, and he told me that, and I went home, and it kind of went like that, and I was like, oh, all right, what? Okay. Got home, and until Tiff's like, hey, how'd it go? I'm like, not bad. What would the doctor say? And I go, oh, he said I had cancer, and then right when I said that, that's when I just went,
oh, fuck,
and it just hit me, and just like, whoa, and it just like, man, and we just kind of sat there and just stripped out, and we just sat on the couch that day, and that's when I was just like, man, fuck.
Now, when he says you got cancer, does he say like we're gonna do chemo, but you might die?
Well, he says this type of germ cell seminoma is curable. We could cut the tumor out, but right now it's too large, so that's the point of the chemo, to try to shrink the tumor.
Now, what kind of cancer is this?
Well, germ cell seminoma is basically a form of testicular cancer. And the way he explained it to me is when you're an embryo, all the nodes all up your, spine, are basically testicles,
All the way up.
Yeah, so basically up here, that's where my mass started growing off the nodes up here.
Right.
And
wow, man.
Yeah, so it's like, so at that day, we just tripped out and sat on the couch, and I just sit there and cried, just for a minute, and like felt like it's the end of the world, and holy shit, it's over. And
yeah.
And the very next day, woke up, said, fuck this.
Yeah.
We're fuck this shit, and fucking turned it around, and like got just like really focused my mind, just like, no. And
battle.
It's a battle. And I think actually before all this happened, I got to actually back up too a little bit, because of part of the story is misses. And I have a friend, Nancy. I don't know if you know her, Nancy Slazaric. I don't know if you remember Nancy and Joan. They used to be in the band.
Yeah.
Well, Nancy lives down here, and she's still a great friend of mine in L.A.
Yep.
She works at Jumbo's Clown Room.
Yeah.
She's been there like 20-something years.
Yep.
She goes to the Rainbow with us, and like months before, and I'm playing down there, and we go to the Rainbow after, and we're eating, and she's like, hey, Chuck, I had this dream last night. And she's been talking about this guy named Charlie, who's a medicine man.
Yeah.
And she's like, you guys need to meet. It's like, you guys could be brothers, you guys have to meet. You have to meet, And we never did. She kept telling me about it. And so that night at the Rainbow, she goes, I had this dream that you and Charlie are sitting around this fire, putting on war paint, about to go into battle together. And I was like, what? Never
you're a crazy woman.
You're crazy. Yeah, you know, like,
yeah.
And I didn't
That's
know,
some rainbow.
I didn't know I was sick yet and all this. You
Yep.
know? And so, you know, after, you know, we say, okay, I'm going to turn it around. A few weeks later, Charlie knocks on my door, unannounced. I don't know if Nancy gave him my number or whatever,
right.
but she must have. But he knocks on the door, open the door, and it's like, yeah, I'm Charlie, and I knew right away. Okay, I know. You know, who else could you be? You look like you could be my brother or something.
Wow,
and
he's an American Indian.
American Indian.
Yep.
Long hair, and said, come on in, and came on in, and he wanted to do a healing on me.
He knew you had cancer.
And so, you know, he sat me down. We talked for a minute, and he goes, "I'm here, to give you the healing. What we're going to do is I'll do the healing, and after that, we're going to sit down and talk, and I'm going to tell you a couple things, and you might not even understand it. They could make any sense to you, but they will as time goes on." I said, all right. So he goes, lay down here on the floor, and I lay down there and closed my eyes. And he started getting in his chant and drumming, and he had a shaker and had a flute, and next thing you know, I felt like I was just traveling through the air, just floating.
For real?
For real. And I hear like coyotes like howling, and it was the chanting. It was just, I was like on this journey. It was a trip. And when we were done, well, before he finished it, when I was hearing the coyotes and stuff, he also had his eagle's feather. He like took it across my chest and swooped it down, across me. And
no peyote?
No.
Wow, just stone cold sober. You're hearing stuff.
Close focus, but just what I was hearing and just the flute. And it was really spiritual.
That's right.
It was intense. And I never experienced that, but I was going with it and just really believing, because that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And so after that, he sat me down and he goes, okay, so I'm going to tell you some things. It can make any sense to you, but things are going to start happening and falling in place, and you'll start understanding. But the wind is going to be your spirit guide through this. And I said, okay, right on.
Yeah.
And as fast as he came and did that, he was gone. And we never seen each other again.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then, so after that, weeks go by, and I'm having like stomach issues, like and go to the bathroom, just like, man, stomach problems. And I remember one weekend we had a barbecue, and DiGiorgio's over and a bunch of friends, and we're drinking beers and had a bunch of beers out on the side of the house. And that night it was really windy, and I remember getting woke up because the furniture's getting thrown in the pool, and I'm going down and close the covers of up there, and I come in, I'm like, man, I go down to the guest room, bathroom, and and outside the window I hear like the cans like in a whirlwind.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, man, this wind is fuck. And I'm sitting on the toilet, and as soon as I released them, took this big shit.
Wow.
As soon as I released it, this energy, I just really felt this overwhelming energy that I just got rid of something, my illness.
Wow.
And as it did, the wind stopped and the cans went and hit the ground. And I bullshit. And and I was just like going, whoa. And I really had the overwhelming sensation. I went upstairs and woke Tiffany up. I said, guess what? She's like, what? And I go, I don't have cancer anymore. I just fucking shit it out in the toilet.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And then and I was doing my blood work once a week.
Yeah.
The next blood test I went in that week, did the blood work on the tumor, cancer free.
Wow.
It was just a fucking tumor, big squash in my chest.
That's insane. Now, they never cut anything out?
No, not yet at that point. So then my buddy Tommy has an uncle that knows another medicine man up in the Sierra Nevada.
Yeah.
And my friend Nancy, she has another healer down that does sweat lodges down in Southern California and Santa Barbara Mountains.
Some full-blown Indian stuff.
Yeah. So we decided that me and Tommy and my son Dakota that we're going to Hollywood.
Yeah.
And this is when they had all the floods going on down there.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was washed out. And we went down there the night before and stayed with Nancy. And we were all going to go do the sweat, and it's like I said, it's flooding. Everybody's like, I'm like, we're going. I don't care what's going on. We're going.
Yeah.
In the morning, and so we start heading up the Grapevine. We get up in the middle, and we start going towards the ocean, back in the mountains. And as we're going up down the Grapevine, when we got up, as soon as we got off, it starts like hailing at the top of the exit there.
Yeah.
And as we start getting back in the mountains, it starts snowing. And as we get further away, and we're going like way back there, and then all of a sudden the sun breaks out, and we're just like tripping out, like, what's going on? We're going through all these elements.
Yeah,
and it's like, where the hell are we going? This is like trippy. And then and it kept changing, and then we got to where we had to go off road for about another 8 miles. Off, and I had my Suburban packed up with all the camping gear and shit. We're
you're ready.
We're ready. So we go and we get all the way. Finally get there, and as soon as we pull up to the campsite, and it's funny because I've been dying to four-wheel my Suburban, never had an opportunity to get it off the road.
Yeah. And
it was rainy and muddy, and everybody's cars are parked at the bottom, and the sweat's way up at the top, and the campgrounds and everything's up there. There's a big hill. I said, well, dude, we're going, man. First time four-wheel drive. Let's get it ready, man.
Yeah.
You ready? We hit it, and we got it. We made it.
Yeah.
Wheeled it up right to the sweat, man. It popped up there. And it's funny because right when we got there, they were getting ready to do a sweat here coming up. The timing was perfect. And my son, he's 14 at the time. And so we're like, okay, what do we do? And like, well, you got to just get in your underwear. Here, take this towel, bring a towel and get in your underwear, dry towel. And so we're standing, and where the ceremony is, where the sweat lodge is, it's got to be connected to the fire pit at all times.
Right.
And the fire's got to be burning at all times.
Right.
And that heats the rocks. And it's such an old fire pit. It looks like the Coliseum. There's like steps going all the way down, that's how long it's been there. And
now you guys going in there, and you're going to do a full-blown sweat out toxins, right?
Full on sweat.
Do you take any peyote or anything? They don't do that there?
Nuh-uh. And at this time, when I was sick, I stopped burning too, so I was like completely sober.
Right.
The weed just didn't go with me when I was on the chemo. So we get there, and so me and my son are sitting, and it's snowing, and we're sitting in our underwear, and we're standing out there, and I'm looking at him and going, are you cold? It's like, no. I'm going, my God, I'm not even cold. It's fucking snow. We're standing in our underwear, with towels around our neck, man. What's going on? It just was really trippy.
Yeah.
Something was going down. And so we get in there, and we get inside the sweat, and of course they love my son because the children's energy is really good energy inside. Yeah. Good medicine in the sweat.
Right.
And
how many people were in there?
There's about 12 to 15. It was a big sweat.
Wow.
I mean, big. And you get on there and crawl in.
And do they say, who are you? How do you hear about it? Or you just show up?
It's a community one. So this one, it's a community. This guy Turtle, who was the healer.
Yeah.
Everybody knew him, and people from Hollywood would all come and
got it
up there. So we get in there, and we're in there for the first 10 minutes. They bring in a rock at a time, and a couple more, and then a couple more.
Get it cooking.
Yeah, and he's chanting and like praying and give thanks to our friends and the earth and he's you're really getting it, but it's getting hotter and hotter. And my son Dakota, he's like, Dad, you can't handle it. But they told us when you get too hot, you're not gonna get it, put your face really close to the dirt, get the towel like this. That's your little towel, and just breathe close to the earth, and that's what keeps it cool.
Oh wow! Wow!
So that's what the towel
like a parachute.
Yeah, just get right down and just breathe that close to the dirt.
Wow!
And so he lasted about 15, 20 minutes, and then he's like, "God, I can't handle it. I got to get out." So they said, "Okay," and let him out, and so we did that. And then after we got out of the sweat, about 45 minutes later, we went down in the fire pit, and he just did a personal healing on me.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. And at that point, my mind was really focused on my Native heritage because I'm Native American, but I really haven't reached back either through my music or religion or spirituality or anything until this moment of my life.
It wasn't around in your childhood?
No, it was, but that was just...
Yeah, that was
a part of me, but it wasn't...
Right.
something I like, really dove into or got into a lot, until that part of my life. And that's like, I don't know,
Yeah.
really changed.
Well, then you're cancer free, like completely, right?
Yeah. Oh, so we get there and we split out of that camp, and we're going to go to Tommy, who's with us. We're going to his uncle's up in the Sierras, and we go up to Lupin, who's another healer.
Yeah.
He's a direct descendant of Geronimo Lupin, and he lives with wild wolves.
Wow.
He has wild wolves
straight real
all around
deal.
his real deal. Little dens right out in his yard, all around, real deal. And he's got one big wolf. That's his. He's the male.
Yeah.
The alpha male.
The king.
The king. And so my friend Tommy's uncle says, when we're going to go see Lupin, what you got to do is you're going to get out of the vehicle and you're going to approach the house. If the wolf shows aggression, just turn around and get back in the vehicle.
Wow.
You're not going.
Yeah.
If you go in there, it doesn't show aggression, just go in and see Lupin. It's like right out of a movie kind of stuff.
Right.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Really? I'm going to go walk up and this wolf's just going to kill me right now?
Yeah, just fucking eat me
I'm just going to
alive.
eat me right now.
Yeah.
I don't
Showed
need-
a lot of aggression. I died.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cured the cancer.
yeah, exactly, right?
So I go and he doesn't show aggression. So I go in, and my son didn't want to. I want him to come in with me, and he didn't want to get out of the car.
Yeah.
So after I get in, he came in after he's seen it. And he didn't show any aggression towards him. And after Lupin got around the wolf, he was fine.
Yeah.
Because then he brought him inside, and he's just sitting over there.
Yeah.
Big old wolf sitting there.
Fucking crazy.
And what he was really about was really trying to, because he knew my tumor was large. I mean, he knew a lot of stuff before I even had to talk to him. And he was showing me how to connect my energy and use my energy to focus my energy around the tumor and the mass, and to, make it shrink.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was, and it was just like, it's a trip. It really kind of worked, or at least I was focused. I think it worked. It was like, just like if you hit your knee over your elbow or something, just focus that your energy, close your eyes, put a circle around the pain, and think of a color, a bright color that's energy for you to put inside and fill in that circle. And we did it, and it was like, whoa, yeah. And so that's the process and thought that I'm thinking, okay, that's how I'm going to do it for the tumor.
Fill the spot on the tumor.
Spot with energy, and it's shrinking. And it finally got small enough. I don't know if it's just because I was trying to do that, focus my energy, but reaching way down on the earth and ground yourself with the earth and using the energy from the earth.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool, and it was really cool that my son was there through this whole thing.
Yeah, that's
he's
badass.
14 years old, going,
Yeah.
But he was right there, man, trooper.
And then
so after all this, weeks go by, the tumor's finally the size of an orange, and I'm eligible for open heart surgery.
Wow.
It was cancer free. I just had the tumor now, so went to a doctor, and the funny thing is, my doctor that at San Francisco Medical Center, is a comedian.
Who was it?
What's his name? Dr.
Ken?
No, I can't think of his name. My wife will know his name, but he's a comedian. He's a funny guy. When I first met him, and he was just like, "You're the first guy I had to climb on when I had to cut you open. I had to climb up and mount you and get up all the time because he's a small guy like this.
Yeah.
He couldn't because I had to crack my chest plate open with a saw, and
they saw your chest plate open.
My chest plate open and butterflied me open.
Oh,
and it's I was butterflied open like that for like 9 hours.
9 hours,
and they got it out of there, and I was actually it was pushing on one of my valves. It damaged one of the valves.
Wow.
So I was supposed to have a pig valve put in there.
No shit.
Yeah, and after 9 hours, their doctor decided he's been open too long. Let's just close him up. We'll come back and deal with that later.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm like, oh no, he is right. Especially I came out of surgery, and I'm like, did they get everything? No, they didn't get to do the valve. I'm like, no.
Oh no.
This sucks. Well, so what? You're gonna crack me open again? It's like,
oh god. So did they?
So well, no. So weeks go by. I'm still in the hospital. I think I was in there maybe 10 days. Morphine, kept hitting that button, just, in pain.
That's got to hurt like shit,
Hurts
right?
like shit. Couldn't cough like that. I'd be like, oh,
dude, I had
shit.
cracked ribs, and that hurt. I can't imagine having your entire chest plate sawed and then asked to grow back.
You should have seen my buddies came and see me out of surgery, and they said I was like swollen like this. It's just like this little head on this big old chest.
Unbelievable, man.
It was crazy. And then I got let out of there and gave me the wrong meds and got to Antioch and the wrong meds. And I was like, take me straight to the hospital. They checked me right back in for another week in Antioch because it was like brutal,
Wow.
Yeah. But then after that, checkups once, every 6 months at that time. And then
no pig valve needed, huh?
Well, no, the doctor says it started working again on its own.
Wow.
I'm like, well, how'd that happen? Don't know.
Fucking the evil spirits.
Whatever. It just decided to kick into gear and get its shit together. It's just the wildest thing. Like I said.
How could they tell? A sonogram? They looked at your heart with a sonogram? They could see that it was working?
Yeah, they could see the flow.
Right, gotcha.
Actually going through it.
Fuck.
Yeah, so it was like from the day I found out sick to the next day, I said, fuck this.
Yeah.
It was this whole spiritual experience, that, really it was like a blessing. Because when I was ill, I lost all my hair, eyebrows. I was a scary
shit.
motherfucker.
You got the chemo.
I was on the chemo. I was on a steroid, so I blistered up, man. I was just big old bald dude. I was like big old scary dude. I looked in the mirror going, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
My career's over. I'm done, done.
Wow.
And then at that point, right before I finished that chemo, that's when Walter Morgan threw the Thrash of the Titans show.
Yeah.
And that's when Alex and Louie and Greg and everybody came out, and that was the first time me and Eric and all of us got together. It's for the benefit show.
Right.
And that's actually what got back Death Angel, got back Exodus.
Wow.
All them bands was because of that show. They all put their different side, came and played, and been going since.
Man.
And that's what sparked kind of the reunion, because at that time I asked Alex, we were doing, I think right after that show next day, I think we were finishing up the First Strike Still Deadly record, where we did because we couldn't get the rights from Atlantic to re-release or redo some other stuff. So we said, screw it, we're going to re-record it.
Yeah.
So we just re-recorded ourselves, all the killer songs off the Legacy and the New Order.
Yeah.
All our favorites, and just went and did a killer.
Yeah. And they put it out. There it is.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you guys went out on the road as the original lineup, minus Louie, right?
No, Louie
did it?
Yeah, Louie did it when we first got back, because Louie played the benefit, and Louie has arthritis, so he's had a problem like holding the stick. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it ain't.
Yep.
So Louie was jamming with us, but then it got down to the point where, okay, we're going to go on tour with Louie. Well, actually, it started out where Tempest was playing. Louie was just playing a couple songs.
Right.
And then next, Louie built up to the whole set. Next, we're like, oh, shit, Louie can play the whole set now. Okay, let's go. Ready, Lou? Fuck, right on, man. The team's back, man. We're all back.
Original lineup. Here
we go, man.
Yeah.
So we went and did Europe, had a blast. It was awesome. And then we're getting ready to start booking some more shows and planning the summer festivals. And Louie calls and goes, oh, dude, can't do it. My hand's locking up. Fucking hands fucked up and shit. Oh, man. And then we're like, oh, fuck, we can't afford to book all these shows. And then all of a sudden Louie can't play in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
Oh, man. And Louie understood. He's like, God, man, fucking dude, I got a girl here. She doesn't even want me to go. Like, it's all good.
Yeah. I'm selling antiques now.
Yeah, it's all good. We're all good. So that was it. And then that's when we went through Bo Staff.
Yeah.
We got back with Bo Staff, and then Gene came in the picture. And
did Gene do the Damnation record?
The Formation? No, Paul Bostaff.
Oh, man, that drumming on that is incredible.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Bostaff.
Now, no longer, Greg's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And he went a little crazy, right? I mean, in the press and stuff.
He sees things different than the way I see it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's band guys, you know.
Yeah.
It's amazing to think though how long you and Eric and Skull Knight. That's awesome, right? To think about from back in the day to right now.
Yeah, and we are like brothers. I mean, me and Eric can fight like brothers, and believe me, we do. And
Yeah.
you know, we have our differences, you know. But we've also know how to respect each other's space, and we do what we do.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I think we realize is, especially now that, you know, we jam with other musicians and do other things, and it ain't the same like when I play with Testament, you know.
Right.
When we play with Testament, man, we're locked in. You know?
Yeah. That's the
it's
first
solid.
love.
It's solid, you know.
Yeah.
And it always is. So, you know, and for me, I thought, you know, I looked at as when I was ill coming back with that reunion, it was like a whole different blessing. I looked at the whole world different because at that point we weren't weekend warriors. We're like, okay, were you guys ready? We're going full on.
Yeah.
You know, here we go. Agent, book everything. You know,
Yeah.
send us to places we've never been. And then we got better agents, and then then it started picking up speed. You know, and all of a sudden, next, you know, popped out a couple good records, good publicists, right time.
Yeah.
Started picking up speed again, and then we just been consistent with it. I think, you know, for the most part.
You're about to do the Slayer tour.
Yeah,
This is fucking incredible.
Yeah, we're working on a new record, which we'll have a single out hopefully before that tour, and the record will be done right after that tour.
When's the tour start?
It's going to be February 19th.
How long is it?
It's through March 26th. So
Wow.
5 weeks or so.
You ever have any voice problems?
Yeah, when on the headline shows, when I'm doing an hour and a half, you know, 24 shows or something
Yeah.
like that. The last week, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't party as hard. I don't really at all when I'm touring, because that's the first thing that's gonna
First thing that goes.
go. So
Like last night, I had a full-blown flu and fever, and all I care, I slept all day, drank shitloads of tea and honey and shit, went up, did the show, and then you got to know, man, it's your tool, it's your instrument.
yeah. So it's totally.
You do warm-ups?
For an hour every night. The Judy Davis tape, man. I still
Yeah.
got Judy's tape. Yep. Me. I do all her stuff.
Me. Yeah. You got to do it, man.
Yeah, she's got the best one, and to me, that's if I don't do that warm up.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'll fucking have a terrible show. Or, I hit her something bad. Oh man, I should have warmed up. God damn it. You know. So.
It's fucking horrible.
But
when
you
don't
know,
warm up.
I've actually, you know, doing that tape. I met a gal. I can't remember her name, but she's from New York. She's a pretty well known vocal teacher.
Yep.
And she came to a show in Canada. She goes, I think she flew in. I think Tom was having like some vocal problems, so she flew in to work with Tom. And
Right.
so we started hanging out, the drinks. She says, "What are you doing?" I'm like, doing my warm up, because I don't like get all loud. I just got my headphones in. And I do, yeah, real soft, and I do my own. She's like, "What are you doing? What are you listening to?" I go, give her a headphone, so she's listening. I'm doing my whole warm up, and she's just listening. And she's like, takes it off. She goes, "You know what? You got it. You figured it out." She goes, I go, "What?" She's like, "Well, we kind of realized that you don't need to go full voice and full hard to warm up.
Yeah.
It's
It's a
controlling it's like using the flow of your air and controlling the tones and the voice. That's stretching of it, not woo, hitting it hard." She goes, "You figured it out. So what made you start doing it?" I go, "Well, because I don't want to annoy everybody, and I just do my own thing. And I noticed this just does it well. And I do my own little variation on her things, which helps me even do it better. So
Totally.
I fine-tuned it.
Yeah.
So if I don't do it now, because I put so much into like doing what I do with it, it's a mental thing.
I really think it is a mental thing, because also it preps you in your mind of, I'm getting ready to go out there and fucking crush it, you know? And that's a hard thing to do when you're going out just to be metal all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Like you're going from 0 to 1,000 at a metal show. So
Well, we're going almost 30 years, so it's like, okay, so to me, it's like it puts me at that frame, that time and place. Okay, I know that stage is going to be there in 2 minutes. I'm going to be there.
Yep.
It's coming up.
Yep.
It's coming up. You know,
Yep.
so it puts me in that thing where I don't think about, oh, there's show 24, my voice is shot. You know, I gotta,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't do that. So it's like just gets me ready every time. And now my voice has been stronger, I think, than ever. You know,
Yeah, I sing better now.
I sing way
than
better.
I did
way more
25 years.
controlled, but just everything stronger.
Adult style,
Yeah.
you know? You're just out there and you know, like all the tricks. You go in ears?
Yeah, all in ears. Yeah.
In ears is where it's at.
Yeah, and I've realized I do what I do. I can't do it all. I lost my scream years ago, and
Yeah.
those high notes, those are gone, man. So I do my thing, you know,
Yeah.
and that's what I do now.
Yep.
You know? And it's great because when I'm out there, I own it at that moment for what I do.
That's fucking killer, man. Now, you and I also shared love for Harleys.
Oh yeah.
We've gone on trips together, the Redwood
yeah.
Run,
Yeah.
which was one of an epic weekend we had.
Those are some good times, man. Those Redwood runs, man.
It's really funny because when you think about it, I think about it a lot. Whereas that cliche of like, yeah, we get on our bikes and we go up to the redwoods, man. We're American and everything. But when you really think about it, it's so epic and spiritual in its own way.
Yeah, totally.
These 2-wheel rides up through these beautiful trees that we have, and just being in this like gorge and seeing rock.
Well, that ride, especially when you get up past like Ukiah and you start climbing the hills and start getting in the big redwoods and stuff.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, especially once you get up to Garberville up there where the Redwood Run is, and you start heading east. That was the first time in California I've seen these massive fucking ferns. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
we pulled over and it was like prehistoric. We're like, holy shit, this is beautiful.
Oldest
Holy-
trees in the world, you know?
Amazing, and it was mind blowing. So yeah, those are the memorable rides for me going up there. Those were probably the best ones. I didn't like going south to the Hanford runs or
Yeah, yeah.
I like the frog jumps were cool and stuff, but the Redwood Run was special just because 101 was such a great ride. Just
It's
you
just it really is what Harley is about.
yeah,
It's funny because you and I were at the Metal God Awards and we sat next to each other all night. We hadn't seen each other in years, and I loved it because we relived, we laughed and stuff, and watched Axl get inducted into
Yeah.
the metal thing. But I remember it was funny. I said, "You ride anymore?" And you go, "Nope, man. It's just too crazy out there now." And I was thinking like, man, it's not that crazy. And then I got ran over. And I remember as I was laying in bed, I was thinking of you, and you're like, my son wanted one. I said, I ain't buying your death ticket. You buy your own.
you buy your own. Yeah, and he did. He went and got it and had a close call on it.
Whoa.
And of course, financially young kid still. So he said, you know, Mom, I'm gonna get rid of it because she was still on him. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like you riding out there. It's too crazy.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
said,
yeah, Mom's-
we'll get rid of it. So
He got rid of it?
he got rid of it.
Whoa, he had a close.
The Harley dealer bought it back.
Yeah?
He probably lost a couple grand. you
Yeah.
know?
But
yeah.
He had a close call right away?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's like, "You're right. There are idiots out there." And I started when I was 16. Learning it's you got to pay attention.
Yeah.
It ain't just
It's a different game.
Just cruise and enjoy the sunset. You got to watch out, man.
You remember when you got your first Harley?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it?
It was a 79 lowrider.
Oh yeah, great bike.
Yep,
Shovelhead.
Yep, Shovelhead. My friend Jeff Tucker, which we were all envious of. He had 16th birthday Harley. Dad was a Snap-on dealer and drove Harleys. And that son of a bitch got to get one of the goddamn things.
Wow.
And so he's the one who found my first Harley for me. His dad.
Yeah. How old were you?
I was I don't even remember, but it was right beginning of Testament years. That's when I bought that bike.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the early one in all the early photos. First bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I think
That's
I
what
got
Phil
it for
from Flame had too.
45. Yeah, same one.
Shovel. Yeah.
$4,500. I think I bought it for.
Yeah.
It just had some electrical issues. Fixed that right up. And I swear, the next day we went to the Redwood Run.
Wow.
Went right on the Redwood Run, and my solenoid took a shit up in right before Hopland. So I remember my dad had to come down a trailer, pick me up, and we got up to his place and worked on it all night. Got it going in the morning, and made it.
Yeah, made it.
Made it there. Got up. Had some more coil problems in the morning on the way home. Got all the way home. Made it all the way home. But
remember,
but then I lost my shifter.
You lost your shifter. Vibrated off.
Vibrated off around Petaluma, and I still had to go all the way to Dublin.
Oh, and like with no gear.
No gear, just crazy.
Oh man, you remember the first time you ride to the Redwood Run? It seems so far when you're on the wrong bike, right?
Oh.
Because I do it on a bagger now, and it's just one-handed with the cruise control.
Leaning on your sleeping bag.
Yeah, you're like, God, this ride's short. You know, after I rode to Sturgis a few times, I go, Redwood Run's so short. Now, you still a Raider fan?
Oh, big time. Big time. I was season ticket holder forever, and then I just got tired of them ruining my Sunday, so we finally dumped them.
Yeah.
We'd go to the games like,
Yeah.
You know.
It's tough to like that team, right?
Yeah, they're doing a lot better, of course, since we give up our tickets, start playing a little better. But that was the whole thing. We're like, nothing's going to change until Al dies.
Right.
And it's starting to, that's it,
Yeah.
It might be gone now, the stadium here.
They'll be gone.
Yeah.
Because that stadium's terrible.
Yeah, they'll be gone.
That whole area over there is bad, what's funny is if that stadium goes away, it'll be, that's my complete introduction to rock and roll, that stadium with the Day on the Greens.
Oh, I love the Day on the Greens. My best memory is, they had all the outer fence, they'd keep them locked, and you would stand in line the night before, get there about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and just sit there and at 6 or whenever it was, they'd open the gates.
Open the gate.
Everybody started running. Just
run to the front.
Run right to the front.
And the first band would be on at 10:30 in the morning. Which Day on the Green was your first one? Do you remember?
Oh, man.
Did you see Zeppelin?
I seen Zeppelin.
You went to 77. How old are you?
I'm 54. No, am I 54? 53.
53.
When am I going?
You saw the Zeppelin one.
Yeah, and
77.
Actually, Judas Priest was on it.
That's right.
I was on mushrooms.
Priest was on it.
I remember they were on fire and the stage was melting. Judas Priest was just melting in.
You know what? I've never seen any footage of Priest, and about a week ago, a guy sent me over footage of Priest playing that show.
Really?
Yeah, I'll show it to you. And it was because they were still the hippie Priest with the like the weird bell bottoms and the weird. They weren't
when he had hair.
Yeah, he had hair, and they looked like gypsies almost.
Yeah.
Like they all each looked like Stevie Nicks.
Exactly.
So you saw the Zeppelin one.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I remember that. That was awesome.
Wow, that is so.
But that was just it. Those Day on the Greens were just like ultimate. That was, if you think about it, back then, all these festivals that go through Europe.
Yeah,
that Day on the Green was way ahead of its time.
That was the proto
for America.
That was the prequel. Bill was a genius. He was like, I'm putting all these different bands together, and then I'm painting. I'm having Baron Woolman paint or shoot the photos, and then this other guy, Dennis Larkin, painted those backgrounds. And they were stage sets.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, it's incredible.
It was incredible, man.
But just the time, the party, because we're all so young, the party waiting all night was the thrill of like talking all night music. Yeah, we can't wait to see someone and just cranking the tunes.
Total adrenaline.
Yeah.
All
night long.
I couldn't sleep. It was like Santa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you knew after going through one, okay, this is the routine. Okay, well, let's go to this gate now. We're going to go over here.
Yeah.
This side's better. We get better aim right for that there, and we get the front row.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You saw the comedy show last night, and
awesome.
And thanks for coming.
Awesome. Hell
because I'm out at your house, and you drove far to see me. And as I was coming out here, I felt good. I was like, this fucking guy drove an hour and a half to go see me. That's a fucking friend.
That's not far. I'm used to that. That's nothing.
I know, but
for you, you're probably going, where the hell are we at? We're out in the country somewhere. If I get a flat tire, I'm fucked.
I couldn't believe how far away you lived.
Yeah, I just actually been here a month.
Yeah.
From Antioch to Discovery Bay.
It's incredible where you live out here. It's so opposite of metal.
But that's so me. I've been boating and loving, but that's why I quit writing.
Yeah.
At that point, because we bought a boat. And every time it was hot and sunny, we're like, fuck the chaps and the leathers.
Yeah.
Let's load the cooler with the beer and play Sirius radio and look at titties all day. You fucking stupid. Come on.
That sounds fucking good.
The next thing my wife's like, yeah, idiot. Beers and boobs.
Yeah.
Leathers and fucking men with beards. What the fuck's the matter with you?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. We're selling that bike, you know. So I got the boat, named it the Holy Diver.
I couldn't believe your boat is so cool. I just saw Holy Diver.
Remember Ronnie James Dio?
R.I.P. Dio on there.
Now I'm actually going to have to add Lemmy in there now.
Oh, God, that'd be great.
That's going to be awesome. Yeah.
We lost Lemmy, man, 2 days ago. You have any good Lemmy story?
Well, we did the Metal Masters tour with them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who was on that?
That was Heaven and Hell, Motorhead, Priest, Testament.
Did you get
Great Phil. So
wow.
me and Phil and the Motorhead guys became really tight and great friends. And me and actually Phil were like pranking each other, hanging out. Phil's like the funniest guy on the planet, pranks on everybody.
Yeah.
And, you know, the last day of the tour, leading up to that, we kept doing shit to each other all day or all week. But the last day, he's like, I'm going to fucking fuck him up. So he fucking goes and gets a horse, rents a horse. What comes out, we're in the middle of our show.
Yeah.
And he set it all with Tiffany and all our crew around. And when he gets to this part of the show, he stops and talks to the crowd. Right when he does this is the perfect time. So here comes fucking Phil in a dress with a wig on, the dress that Ronnie bought him.
Yeah.
And he's got a horse, and here's Mickey D in front of him with a broom, and he's got another horse and a poncho, and he's riding a little fake horse.
Yeah.
And there's Lemmy walking up behind him with a turban.
Yeah.
Got his turban on, his little thing across, and he's just sweeping up the horse shit behind the horse.
Oh my God! While you guys are playing?
While we're playing, walking across the stage. and Phil's looking at me like, top that one, you know. It's like,
my God!
Like, this is the biggest prank, and it was funny after hearing it, how the production that went into it. Because first of all, get me a horse tomorrow for stage.
Yeah,
we're gonna get a horse. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
they were out of their mind. The Motorhead guys were out of their mind, and what they did to Heaven and Hell is they bought 5,000 newspapers, had printed like Motorhead stuff on it, and handed it out to the first 5,000 people in the front row. So when they came out, everybody had their newspapers.
Like they weren't watching them. Oh my God, man, that is incredible.
They were like the best, and and every time after that prank, every time I seen Lem, that was a thing he'd bring up. Oh, that time when we got on the horse, man, it's never gonna be topped. You can never do better. You can never out prank that one. That is the prank of all pranks. And
I love heavy metal guys like that, right?
Yeah, and it was that was some good times, man.
Well, fuck, I'm glad you're still with us, man.
Yeah,
you know,
fortunate, blessed.
Yeah,
you know, my life, my band. Everything.
You've had a great life, man. You've been playing metal for 30 years.
Yeah.
You know?
Loving every minute of it, and it's keeping me young, you know?
It's so cool.
It's keeping me young right now.
Thanks for letting me stay at your crib tonight,
fuck
too.
Yeah, man. I wish it was summer. We'd be out on the boat, man.
I know, it's fucking freezing right now.
It's cold as
39 degrees. I'm sick. I'm like out here podcasting in the middle of fucking Discovery Bay.
Yeah, and out in the country, man, but...
I'm ready for bed.
Yeah.
Just old. It's fucking like 10.
Yeah, smoke another joint and call it the night.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah, right on, man.
You got Twitter, Chuck fucking Billy, right?
Chuck fucking Billy. Yeah.
And
Facebook. Instagram as well.
Yep. And Facebook. And that's pretty much it.
Actually, I'm on the Periscope now.
Oh, are you?
You can check that out. That's kind of a trippy.
Oh, I love Periscope.
The last one, my wife's kicking my ass. I was I went to Tel Aviv.
Oh yeah.
Last week.
Oh,
bad. I did a show, like a little all-star show thing, but I got hammered one night, and I'm on the roof. The beach, periscoping myself drunk on my house, just like, what the fuck am I doing, man? But, that's not the periscope. Well, maybe it is, man. That's what they want to see.
They do.
And they want to hear me like mumble and talk fucking nonsense.
Yeah. What's your periscope, Chuck fucking Billy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to start following you. I got a Periscope too.
I love it, man. It's
I
fun.
do too. It's bad. But let's do a Periscope right after this for 5 minutes.
Let's
People
do
go
it.
crazy on mine.
Let's do it.
There he is, Chuck Billy, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Right on, brother.